Well, if you're watching this video, it's safe to say that you've got a guitar and you're looking for a way to make music with it. Well, you came to the right place. How you doing, folks? My name is Patrick, and through this video guitar workshop series, I will be your co-conspirator. See, this isn't just a series of guitar lessons. This is a bit of a journey. We're going to be going week to week with an individual lesson in video on howanddow.com. Be also available on DVD. I don't know exactly where this workshop series will go. That really depends on you. Write in some questions, write in some topics you want covered. Where I'm going to start right here in this workshop is right at the beginning. What I'd like to see happen is work through the individual steps and tools you need to develop your own guitar style. So the idea to me of folk guitar is that you end up sounding like you. When I started out with the guitar, I didn't know what I was doing or where I was going. I just wanted to make music. And over the space of 20 years, I found myself developing something that not a lot of people were doing. It was a mix of rhythm and melody, very much like what I was doing with frailing banjo. Where you go in your guitar journey is entirely up to you. It's an open-ended story. You're writing it as you go along. The idea of this workshop is to give you the tools to go along that journey and find your own voice with this wonderful, wonderful instrument. Now, before you ask, this is a guitar. It's a metal-bodied resophonic guitar. I love this guitar. It's the only guitar I play, and it's been that way for 20-some years. It's got the sound, it's got the feel, it works for me. Now, the right guitar for you, that's up to you. There's a lot of instruments out there. The one thing I will say is don't get into guitar acquisition syndrome, or what they call on the internet, gas. When you have a whole room full of guitars, what happens is your priority shifts from making music to owning more guitars. And you end up spending all of your time talking about guitars and playing guitars. And when you switch instruments, the one thing I've found is this guitar has a unique neck, unique fretboard, unique action, response, and feel. And when I pick up another guitar, I'm in unfamiliar territory. And if you keep hopping from guitar to guitar, you end up always trying to get comfortable. You never just drop right into it like it's an old friend. So my advice to you is pick one great guitar and play it to death. Make it your best friend. And you'll really start to see the picture come together a little bit easier than you will from hopping from guitar to guitar to guitar. You might want to play a 12-string, an archtop, an electric, a flat-top acoustic, a small-bodied acoustic, whatever. Just be yourself and go with your instincts. When you pick up the right guitar, it'll say to you, hey baby, let's cruise. I mean, that's what happened when I picked this thing up when I was a kid. And I still love this instrument. Now, one thing that may help you if you're just starting out with the guitar is to have a copy of my book, The How and the Dow of Folk Guitar. You don't have to buy a copy. That's the great thing about the internet. We've made it freely available online. You can buy a printed version from Amazon, Pickware Publishing, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore. But you can also read it for free on howanddow.com and other websites. Just do a web search for The How and the Dow of Folk Guitar, and you'll find several versions online. Use it if you're just starting out. It'll help augment what we're covering in the videos. And you don't have to pay for it because it's folk music. It's all about sharing. Now, in this workshop series, my guitar is going to be in standard tuning. Now, we call standard tuning the standard for a reason. It works for everything. And it's really important that we're in tune together while we're working on these workshops, so that when I say I'm playing an E note, your first string isn't like a B note or something, because then we clash. So let's get our guitars in tune. My 6th string is the heavy wound string closest to my chin, and that's tuned to an E. My 5th string is under that, and that's tuned to an A. My 4th string is tuned to D. My 3rd string is tuned to G. My 2nd string is tuned to B. And my 1st string is tuned to E. And That gives us standard tuning. It doesn't sound like much until you make a chord. But for right now, that'll work. If you don't have an electronic tuner, I recommend getting one, but until then, you can tune the guitar to itself. And to do that, you assume the first string is in tune. And you can raise and lower the pitch of your first string to make it sound like that. That's an E note. I'll give it to you one more time. When you look at your fingerboard, you'll see these wires running across your fingerboard. These are called frets. And if we go to the second string and fret it at the 5th fret, it should sound like the first string open. If it doesn't match, raise or lower the pitch of the second string. Now when you raise and lower the pitch of the string, don't just crank on your guitar tuners. Pick the string first and listen to it slide in. There we go. Now we match the 3rd string at the 4th fret to the 2nd string open. The 4th string at the 5th fret to the 3rd string open. Close enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it close enough. The 5th string at the 5th fret to the 4th string open. Hear that? There we go. And the 6th string at the 5th fret to the 4th string open. You can also compare the 6th string to the 1st string. Hear that? Pretty cool, huh? Now, this Guitar Workshop series, one other thing I want to talk to you about. There's 2 things that are going to be happening that are kind of unusual. Number one, this is going to be a live take. I'm not going to be doing any editing as we go along with this. It's going to be turn the camera on for half an hour and run with it, just like it would be with a live lesson. The other thing that's going to be happening is I'm aiming for 2 different groups at the same time. You've either got a guitar and just started, or you've been trying to play for a while and you can't get the picture together. And I see that a lot. I know a lot of guys out there that know how to make some chords, know how to pick some songs from tablature, but putting it all together to get that improvisational folk guitar thing happening is eluding them. So what we're going to be doing is just going over the basics to help a beginner. But if you've been playing for a while, look at this workshop series as a way to put the puzzle pieces together. Because we're going to be exploring chord forms, scales, rhythm, melody, but in a way that you may not have seen before. Because the way I was taught to play the guitar, I would run into an old guy somewhere at a festival or a subway station, and they would show me something. And then I was expected to go off on my own and figure out how to use that. And eventually I had all these different blocks, and like a quilt pattern, I had to put them together to come up with my own picture. And what I came up with was an approach that mixes the bass line with the rhythm line with the melody line. And it's very, very much my personal style. When you work through these exercises, don't get too wrapped up in copying what I'm doing. Look at the concept I'm sharing with you and run with that, because I don't want you to sound like me. I want you to sound like you, because music is a form of expression. It's not a form of recitation. You're not repeating notes. You're speaking notes right from inside of you, putting things into sound that you can't express with words. Very powerful stuff. So with that in mind, when we look at our first chord, and in a moment I'm going to go over a C chord with you. When we make that C chord, don't just look at it as putting your fingers on the fretboard to make a C chord. There's a couple of things happening. We're going to learn how to make a C chord in a way that doesn't put any strain on our fretting hand, leaves us free to move around. And we're going to look at the C chord not just as something you strum, Because a C chord, to me, after 20-some years, I've got a bass line, I've got the rhythm line, and a melody line. And when I put them together, it's not that I'm playing a C chord. I'm just working out of this hand position to get an effect like. It just happens to be a C chord, but I'm actually using it like a Swiss Army knife. I'm getting a bass line, a rhythm line, and a melody line. So it's not just put your fingers here. Explore. Because the magic of the guitar is that there's so many different ways to say one thing. And one little chord, one little phrase can have 100 million possibilities attached to it. So get wrapped up in that. Get lost in finding ways to put things together, to get sounds that are pleasing to you, but while you're making musical sense. So let's start off. Let's make a C chord together. Now, we don't make chords, and a lot of folks, when they grab the guitar for the first time, they think that what's happening is your thumb is putting pressure on the back of the neck, and your fingers are putting pressure on the fretboard, and your hand winds up acting like a clamp. The problem is there's too much pressure involved, and you end up applying all this pressure and you can't move around. So let's take this webbing between our thumb and our index finger and just drop it in the back of the guitar neck and let our arm rotate like this. And while that's happening, move your shoulder and your elbow. See what my arm's doing? Move your elbow in and out. Think of this webbing between your thumb and your index finger as a rotator cuff. All right? So all we have to do to fret a string is move our hand and our arm around to get our fingers over the string we want to get them to. So to make a C chord, we're going to fret the 5th and the 6th string with a ring finger. So we're going to rotate our hand around like that a little bit. See, my elbow comes in a little close to my body, shoulder kind of drops down. And when I fret 2 strings at once with one finger, what I'm doing is I'm aiming between the strings. If you look at your 5th and your 6th string at the 3rd fret, there's a space between the 2 strings. And if we put our ring finger there and just drop it down, what happens is we wind up getting the meat from our fingertip on those 2 strings at the same time. Now for pressure, all we want to do is get those strings touching the fretboard. So touch it very, very light, then apply more pressure until you get a clear note out of those 2 strings. We're fretting the 5th and the 6th string at the 3rd fret with our ring finger. Now we're going to drop our middle finger on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. 3rd string is open, and we're going to fret the 2nd string at the 1st fret. Let's go over that one more time. 5th and the 6th string with our ring finger at the 3rd fret. We're fretting 2 strings at once by aiming between the strings, letting the flesh from our fingers sort of squish out and catch just enough of the string to get it on the fretboard. 4th string at the 2nd fret with our middle finger. 3rd string is open. 2nd string at the 1st fret with our index finger. 1st string open. That gives us a C chord. Now, the first time you grab it, you're not going to get all the notes clear. And what you want to do is move your arm around that rotator cuff until you get a nice arch on your fingers and get a clear chord. Now once you've got that clear chord, look at how much pressure you're applying on the fretboard. You barely want to be touching the fretboard. And to give you an idea how little pressure is needed, I have my thumb just sort of guiding my hand on the back of the neck. I'm going to let it fly loose. I can still make a clear chord. You only want enough pressure to get that string touching the fretboard. Now, if your guitar has heavy strings and a really high action, think about taking it to a shop and getting it set up with a lighter action and a lower action. You want ease of play. Now, for some guitars, you've got to find a balance. Because with this resophonic guitar, I have an aluminum cone under the bridge that amplifies the sound. I can get away with a very, very light string. On a flat top acoustic guitar, you need a heavier string to vibrate the wooden top of the guitar. So you've got to find a balance between playability and volume. And most of your good guitar shops will work with you on that. You don't want to just go with the standard Joe Bag of Donuts guitar setup. Really think about it and get that guitar playable so that you can, no pressure, make a nice chord but still be able to hear it. Thumb flying free. All the thumb is doing is just guiding our hand. We shouldn't be supporting the neck of the guitar because a good guitar has a balance to it. It'll just sit right in your lap like an old friend or like a waitress in a casino. Just let it fly loose. Your thumb is just guiding your hand a little bit, acting like a rotator cuff to grab that C chord. Let it go, make a C chord. Let it go, make a C chord. Now, let's look at another chord. What we're going to do, we've got our index finger on the second string at the first fret. We're going to flatten it out. So we're hitting the first and the second string at the first fret. We're going to move our middle finger from the fourth string to the third string at the second fret. So it's first and second string at the first fret with our index finger. Third string at the second fret with our middle finger. And we're going to fret the fourth and the fifth strings with our ring finger at the third fret. Alright? Now remember that thumb acts like a rotator cuff? What we're going to do is we're going to bring that around. Bring our arm up. Even move. I'm going to exaggerate the movement a little bit for the video, but actually bring your shoulder up a little bit until your thumb sort of squishes over. And you can grab the sixth string at the first fret with your thumb. Once again, hardly any pressure should be involved. And I'm exaggerating the motion for the camera here, but when you make the move from the C to the F, see, my thumb isn't just reaching around on its own. I'm rolling it up with my whole arm. Elbow comes up, shoulder comes up, and I can make that switch. So the C chord, sixth and fifth strings at third fret with our ring finger, fourth string at the second fret with our middle finger, third string open, second string at the first fret, first string open. We make the F. We flatten out the index finger to catch the first and the second string at the first fret, third string at the second fret with our middle finger, fourth and fifth strings with our ring finger at the third fret. Thumb just squishes around just enough to catch that sixth string at the first fret. Now we've got an F chord. So it's C, F, C, F. See how my whole hand, my whole arm position changes when I make those two chords. And just try that. Just strum down with your thumb. Now if your hand hurts, if your wrist hurts, if your knuckles hurt, if you get tension in your palm, stop and look at what you're doing. Playing through pain isn't smart, isn't cool, isn't anything. Look at your hand and move it around. Elbow in, elbow out, up, down. Look at your guitar neck. Do you need your guitar neck down, up, in, out? How do you need to move to grab that chord easier? Don't just think you have to force your hand into a position. You want to put yourself in a position that your hand falls into place and there's no effort involved. Because your goal is to make music, not to suffer through, not to show everybody how tough you are. Make beautiful music. And we don't want any pressure or pain so that we're free to really start playing around with the fretboard, moving around, exploring chords, variations. So make the C chord, see how it feels, get used to it, then slide around to the F, then slide back to the C, back to the F. Have fun with it. And then try another chord. We're going to look at a G chord. This is fun because it's so different. We have the C chord, we have the F chord. Now for a G chord, we take our ring finger and drop it on the first string at the third fret. we take our middle finger and roll our thumb around the back of the guitar neck until we can grab the 6th string at the 3rd fret with our middle finger, and the 5th string at the 2nd fret with our index finger. That's a G chord. Now look at the difference between an F chord. Watch what my hand does. See the difference? And back to C. So it's not just putting your fingers on strings, it's how you move your body. And you want to find a way to work with your body, not fight against it. So we have a C chord. 6th and 5th string at the 2nd fret with our ring, 3rd fret with our ring finger. 4th string at the 2nd fret with our middle finger. 3rd string open, 2nd string at the 1st fret with our index finger. 1st string open. Now an F chord. We flatten out the index finger to grab the 1st and the 2nd string at the 1st fret. We move our ring finger over to the 3rd string at the 2nd fret. Move our ring finger over to the 5th and the 4th string at the 3rd fret. Catch the 6th string at the 1st fret with our thumb. And that is a tongue twister, folks. Now for a G chord, we let go of everything. We grab the 1st string at the 3rd fret. We reach over with our middle finger, grab the 6th string at the 3rd fret, and the 5th string at the 2nd fret with our index finger. And that's a G chord. So we have C, F, and G. And when you practice those 3 chords, look at how you're moving your body. Look at how it feels. Because as I said earlier, when you start playing and you start improvising in a folk music context, you really want to be free so that your hand can do things like have a C chord. Now if I had to crush the guitar neck to get any notes, I couldn't bounce that bass like that. And not just that, you want to be free enough to play with the pinky and add some notes to the chord. Now, when you practice these chords, you also want to work on your rhythm. And see, we're putting the puzzle pieces together already. We're not just going to practice the chord, because this hand's got to work the fretboard. This hand is our rhythm section. We're making the notes here, but this hand's making the music happen. So what we're going to do is just practice playing rhythm with our thumb. And before we practice rhythm, we really should talk really quick about what rhythm is. And the easiest way to grasp rhythm is to think of it as the space between the notes. In rhythm, what we're doing is assigning a rhythmic beat, a pulse, but we're also assigning the notes note values, time values that tell you how long the note is played. Now for the first few exercises, the next few weeks, we're going to be solely in 4/4 time. And that means every measure of music, which is just the way we divide music into blocks, every measure of music is going to have 4 beats. So we want to start practicing right away, counting to 4. And to make sure we can do that, let's just count to 4 together. Pretend we're on Sesame Street. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now try tapping your foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the note values we're going to look at right away. We're going to start with a whole note. Now a whole note is a note that's held for a full measure. So to play a whole note together, we make a C chord. We strum once. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy. I like whole notes. You get plenty of time to do nothing. You can eat nachos. 2, 3, 4. A half note is half of a whole note. So to play a measure of half notes, we play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just strumming down with my thumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Tap your foot while you do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now a quarter note is, you guessed it, half of a half note. So we play 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fun, easy. Let's make it interesting. But we're going to practice with our C, F, and G chords. We're going to play a single bass note with our thumb. In this case, the 5th string. Make a C chord and hit the 5th string with your thumb. Just let it pull off your thumb. Pull off the string. You actually want to come to rest on the string under that, your 4th string. So that's 1. Now on 2, strum down. 2, 3, 4. So it's bass, strum, bass, strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to make it a little more interesting, let's alternate the bass. So we're going to play 5th string, strum, 6th string, strum. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go to the F chord, and let's do it backwards. We'll do it 6th string strum, 5th string strum. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the G chord, 6th string, 5th string. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And back to C, 5th string to 6th string. Now don't get too wrapped up in getting perfect. Don't try to play it fast. Just let your thumb, get used to strumming down with your thumb, and keep that 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice, easy pace. In our next workshop, we're going to cover more about rhythm. We're going to start playing a song. We're going to start learning bass lines, scales, melody lines, rhythm patterns, even stuff like the subway shuffle down the road. We're going to play some blues, going to play some country music. We're going to look at it all. I want to share it all with you. And I'm so happy to have this opportunity to explore the guitar with you, to learn right alongside with you. As soon as you get these chords down, as soon as you can play a bass drum, find somebody in your neighborhood that always wanted to play the guitar and teach it to them. The best thing you can do to become a good guitar player is to teach other people. Every time you learn something, share it. Two things happen. Number one, you get injected into the bloodstream of your community. You start to get to know people around you, which is important when you're a folk musician. You know, folk music is the music of the people, and to understand the people, you've got to get out there in your community, make friends, share with people. But also, when you're teaching, in order to verbalize something, you have to understand it. So the more you teach, the more you understand your craft. So get out there and share the C, F, and G chord and the bass drum with them. Make some friends. And until I see you next week, practice, move your arm around, get used to how your body works with the guitar. Take care of yourself, be cool to each other, and just enjoy the process. Don't get so wrapped up in getting great real fast. Let yourself grow into the guitar, because you don't know where you're going yet. Even if you've been playing for a while, I don't know where I'm heading with the guitar. It's been 20-some years, and I'm still learning every day. I'm still finding new places to go, new things to dream about. That's what it's all about. So until next week, take care of yourself, never step in anything soft, and God bless.